waist high. That's who we're looking for. I'm sitting on an island. It goes out in a point like this right here. The wind's coming in like this off the point. I'm out of breath. It is so freaking hot out. It was 92 degrees when I left the truck. I'm just dripping in sweat. Coming back here, there's a rub line coming in from the tip, right where I'd expect the mature bucks to bed. And the rubs are high. Obviously a 3-year-old or better buck rubbed those trees. I did bump one deer in the marsh over here. I heard it trot off. It didn't see me, it just heard me. I don't think that was the big one. No, the big one's coming from that way. Hard to get back in here and not bump satellite deer. I chose this spot on the island because this is right where the white oaks start, and then they're back behind me. So any deer is going to make it to here in daylight. I don't want to push that tip. I've seen in early season where they're bed right on the tip or just off of it. So I just want to give this spot one try before I move forward. Oh, somebody got one. If you got acorns dropping, you need to get out of the hills, out of the farmland where acorns everywhere hurt you. And you need to get down in these swamps where isolated patches of oaks on these islands and little high spots and ridges along the edge. Those deer in that swamp flock to them, and they're going to bed as close as possible. And if you hit that primary bedding right up next to them oaks, like where they're coming up a point like this to the oaks, it can be dynamite. I think this is the best time to shoot a truly mature buck, better than rut. Rut, you're shooting the 2- and 3-year-olds that run around crazy and hoping that big one makes a mistake one day while you're out there. During early season, they're still in the summer patterns here in Wisconsin in this early September. I only saw does, fawns, and small bucks on this hunt. It's Sunday, day 9. I'm sitting on an island of popple. Mario was sitting right over there when he saw that big buck, and that buck went this direction. At the time, I was sitting over there. It didn't come by me. And there's really only one way out of there this way, other than to go by my stand over there. And that's right here. So this island of popple has open on that side and open on that side. And it has thick swamp over there where the deer comes out of, where he was bedding. And it has thick swamp over here, but on the other side of that thick swamp is crop fields and oak trees. So I'm hoping that he's coming through here. I was a little disappointed by the amount of sign in here, but there is some good sign, even though there ain't a lot. There's a rub down here that is just huge. You don't see too many huge rubs at this time of the year. And I can see a tree over there just torn to pieces. But it looks like older sign, or I don't know. I'm not real confident, but this needs a sit. We'll see. It's probably going to be something big or nothing. We'll see. Anyways, hopefully I can get an eyeball on them. Although I can't see a whole lot from up here, but I can see patches through the stuff. Looks like that tree's been shredded all the way to the top. That's a small tree though. That's the trail I would think he would come out of, right over in here. I can see the grass is all matted down right down there. Pretty heavy. And there's a trail that loops around this way. And then back here where all the trails meet, there's a rub tree right there. I don't know how well you can see that, but that thing is just pounded. It's got old rubs and fresh ones on top of it. Right there. And the trail's pretty heavy going in there. We'll see. I didn't see any deer on this hunt. I'm running real late getting out here. I was scouting with a stand in my back looking at bedding areas. And the first two I hit were dead ends, which made me run a little late to get here. When I got in here, I don't see the rubs and stuff I'd like to see. But there's a lot of big rubs on the exits way out by the fields. And they're coming from this direction. And I know the bedding's right there. And there's a lot of heavy trails going in here. It's kind of a screwed up setup, but maybe we'll get our eyeballs on something if we don't kill it. This seems to be where they have to come out. In order to get a tree stand in the right spot, I had to really sneak in here because I think they're probably right now 50 yards from me. But I could only get my stand up 2 sticks. It's right here. So it's about 7 feet off the ground. That way I'll have a shot through there and a shot through there. And I think they're coming out of there. So it'd be a miracle if I pull it off, but we'll see. I've got a very small shot window with some branches in there. That's where I'm expecting them to come through. Otherwise I could shoot them right here, but that would be point blank. No deer were sighted on this hunt. It's Tuesday, September 26th. We finally got a west wind. I'm hunting Dave's farm. This is the second time we've been here. Dave's sitting in the observation stand. I went to a new stand that we put in this summer. We put in a little plot here, right where it's right up against bedding. So I'll show you what we're looking at. This little clover plot here, Slayer seed mixed clover. We put that in a month and a half ago. And this green stuff down here, they were feeding on really heavy. And they were coming through here up these big heavy trails here to a bean field that you can just barely see there. That's only 20 yards away. I don't know if you can see how thick this is and how thick that is. But this is like the only open area between the thickness. And right in there, along the edge of that high grass, is where the big bucks have been bedding lately. The only problem with this setup is I snuck in along the bean field back here and looped to the tree real quietly. And when I was climbing up here, a deer snorted in there. I think he was bedded right on the edge of the plot watching it, which sucks. And I don't know what it was. It just moved off that way. Dave's kind of over there. Maybe he saw it, but it probably stayed in the swamp. Hopefully it didn't spook everything else. I guess we're going to find out. I'm kind of surprised there ain't no rubs here, but you can see that the stuff's been browsed on quite a bit. But there's no rubbing at all yet. So the clover don't look too eaten down either. But it's hard to tell from the tree. They should be pounding it. The fact that there was a deer bedded right next to it should tell the story that they're hitting it. We'll see. Just does and fawns were sighted on this hunt. I'm going across an island I wanted to hunt. The last couple of years is pretty hot. There ain't a lot of sign here right now. That tree over there got a lot of big rubs on it the last couple of years. There's none on it yet. And there's rubs on it all over the place just before getting in here, and there's none in here. So probably going to go just a little further to the tip, and I don't know, hopefully there's some sign there. But walking back here, from a few feet back, I noticed a nice shed. I think I recognized the buck. This year it's a big 9. See that big brow this year. Yeah, there's a 9 out here that's got a giant brow like that. I bet you it's him. He's a lot bigger this year. Just kind of dinky. We'll move up to the tip and see what happens. The scrape that's usually opened here too isn't opened, and the rest of them are. But they might be skirting that tip going off to the side. If you look here where the island ends here, they bed right there. So I'm pretty close. But I'm believing they might be going through there and going that way. When I got to the tip of the island, there wasn't much sign there either. So I ended up going past there and going to a point that was much further out and setting up there. I had a doe go by at 5. It's 6 now. There's something moving on the tip. There ain't a lot of sign in here though. All the sign I was seeing on the other end of the woods was getting me excited. Then when I got out here where I want to be, not much sign. Other than that antler laying at the base of the tree I hunted last year. That buck's teasing me. It's not good to tease the serial killer. I think that shed is off of a big 7-pointer that a friend has on trail cam. You can see the transition of the swamp right there. There's one rub over there. I seen a giant buck right there last year. The point is right there. There's some tamarack trees right there that they bed in and they come in like this. There's an island over there that they come off of. And there's some good bedding over there that they come to the tip on. Only does were seen on this hunt. Heading out. I had to make sure I sprayed down first. That's what I spray down with. I had to run out quick after work today. I had to go to a retirement party at work. It would have been bad if I didn't show up. So I'm running real late. So I'm running right back behind the house, little spot. I don't know how good it's going to be. They logged all around it, but if there's any deer back here, that's where they're going to be, and we're going to find out. The logging stopped a few weeks ago, and nobody's been back here hunting. So we'll find out. They just recently logged this entire woods. It looks horrible. It is wide open where it used to be thick. I think they did more than just log. I think they cut all the buckbrush out of there, the invasive species. And the bedding area is right here, right up against us, and they just did this 3 weeks ago. And it's just, I mean, if you look at the ground, it is just horrible. It's just all wood chips and stuff. And nobody's been hunting back here because of that. I was a little worried about it, but I wanted to check it out. I was onto a real big 8-pointer back here last year, and in the end decided not to shoot it because it was probably in the 130s and I had some bigger stuff going on. And it was a good choice. I got a bigger buck. But that buck's got to be pretty big this year, I'm thinking. And there's a lot of other deer around here, and they got to go somewhere. Even though the woods, I mean, they did logging for a mile stretch down here. Further than that, actually. But coming back here, there was a lot of fresh deer tracks coming in and out of here. So I'm confident they are in there. So we'll find out. But the beds I'm going to hunt are less than 100 yards that way. Well, maybe 125, 130. And I'm just going to slip through this thick stuff and climb up a tree right next to where all this logging went on. We'll see. Man, this is a really thick woods. You could only see about 25 yards last year. Now you can see everything. We had a little change of plans. I got back in there and there's no buck sign and very little deer sign around that bedding area. Wow, there's a bedding area right there on the cattails. They were completely wiped out with the logging. My idea now is to go after an island over here. It's right in between where I shot the 12-pointer last year and where I saw the big 8-pointer last year. Oh, look at this. Big scrape. Licking branch. Right in the middle of all this logging. And this is exactly where the deer staged out of that island last year. Nice. So, time I have left is that island or nothing, and the wind's a little fickle. I'm gonna have to loop around in there and get where I can. Hopefully they don't come out this way. Hopefully they come out into the island. I'm thinking this might be going into the island. This scrape. The island's right there. I don't know if you can see it. It's got the tapering point off over there. That's where they bed. And I like them to come in like this. But I got a wind going like that. I'm going to have to get it off just a little bit. It's going to be a just off wind. But actually they bed there better when the wind's like this. The trouble is at some point I think they're going to be able to smell me. I'm giving it a shot anyways. I'm here. I probably ain't going to make it back here again unless I see something big. So I'm going in. And the wind got a little fishy and it's a little off. I couldn't get in the tree I wanted to. So I'm on the ground in a little hole. I got in here real late and I had to go in here a little faster than I wanted. I made a little noise, but hopefully I got away with it. There ain't a lot of sign on the island. Not as much as I would have expected. The island's about, I want to say, an acre in size. And the bedding is usually on the point right here, about 50 to 120 yards that way. And the trail comes out around these dead trees over there at about 20 or 25 yards. I did notice there's a lot of red oak acorns on the ground over here. Sometimes they bed on that tip over here too. And especially with this wind the way it is, they might be bedded over there. But if they are, I could have spooked them. I tried to get in here quiet, but I don't know. Last year, I shot a 12-pointer gun season, about quarter, half mile that way, which may sound like a long distance, but it's not, because it's just 2 islands down in the cattails. And over there, I had a couple run-ins with a big 8 that I decided not to pursue. He was about 130 class. And right here, there was some real big sign coming out of that bedding area. So I'm picking with the acorns. There's got to be something good in there. But the logging on that hill has been ridiculous. And it's right up against here, so who knows? Maybe not. But right in the middle of the logging, I found a big scrape. The amount of scrapes I'm finding this year is amazing. I've never seen an early season this scraped up. It's the end of September right now, and ever since the beginning of bow season, I've been finding scrapes everywhere. Let's just see what I'm looking at here. Take the camera off the tripod and show you my setup. This little finger here, there's cattails over there, and this little finger goes out here. That's where they bed. And these deadfalls here, they come around that side, from my scouting anyways. And historically the rub line comes right through there and through here, and the main trail going across to the mainlands over there. And obviously there's one on each point too. It's pretty open in here, but those are all oak trees. And these two here are dropping. So I kind of came in like this. So if they come off of that point, I could shoot them. I'm expecting anything big to come from over here though. So I got my camera arm set up right here in front of me with the arm extended. I could have the camera here. I could shoot right through here. And I got pretty good blockade here where they can't see me till they're in the shooting lane. And over here I got this big log here I can shoot through. I got a little hill and some brush behind me. I kicked out all the leaves right in here real quietly. And we'll see what happens. I don't have a huge amount of confidence in the spot, but we'll see what happens. The wind's going like this, which is why I couldn't sit over there, because it'll just taper up that trail every now and then. Possum. He walked right up to me, but you couldn't see him through the heavy brush. Woke me up. No deer were sighted on this hunt. I thought a deer was actually coming. I'm sitting on an island. Last year I shot a doe here. I remember the video, 18 feet closer to God. Shot her right over there. Also gun season, I shot my 12-pointer right there. It came out of bedding the same place the doe came from, but we kicked it and went out that way. In this bedding area right here, I have killed probably about 7 or 8 nice bucks, personally. It's a good bedding area. The whole woods up here got logged. It's a big wooded section. The whole thing got logged, except for this spot right here. And coming in here, it was all acorns everywhere. I'm not seeing much buck sign. I'm seeing a little bit of deer sign. So I don't know what to expect, but you'd think they'd be in here if they logged everything else. And there's acorns all over the place. So I'm right on the tip of the island. They come in right here off the little island over there. They come out of bedding right here. They come out of the bedding right there. They come right through here. Behind me is a bunch of big oaks. There's some acorns on the ground yet, not many. The wind's coming right in my face. They've got water out here and it's pretty dry. I got wind cover because I got to get in here pretty close to these beds. The beds start probably 25, 30 yards that way. And I've had deer get up when I'm setting up here. And as a matter of fact, I had Dave hunt here once and I hunted over there. And when Dave sat up here, I heard all this whistling and stuff, and I look up and he's waving at me. I'm like, well, what the heck? And all of a sudden I see him pointing, and this big 8-pointer's loping to me, and I shot it over there. Well, it jumped out of a bed right here when he was setting up. So this wind is a boon, and it's going to help us. But I don't know if anything's in here yet. There hasn't been any pressure. It's been zero pressure. The public land parking lots have been empty because of the heat, because of early season or whatever. But we'll see. I just would have expected a couple rubs in here or something by now. Being that it was Friday and the lack of buck sign on the island, I decided if a good doe came through, I was going to take it. All of a sudden I heard somebody yelling my name along the swamp. They're yelling, Dan, Dan, Danny, and it was not stopping, and it just kept going on and on. And it was the bizarrest thing. And I got a text from Greg that he had shot a deer. And I was wondering if it was him excited and looking for me, and I was getting irritated because this thing's walking in, and I can hear this somebody coming up closer and closer yelling my name. I'm not real happy with the sound of that hit. It sounded like a gut shot. And it exited the way I want to leave. Almost the way I have to leave. I could maybe slip out that way, but I'll have to go through a lot of swamp. It almost looks like my peep moved or something. It's on there funny. I don't know. A little nervous about that hit. It did kind of sound like she crashed over there though. But I don't know. She stood there for a second. It's gonna be a long night. A friend of mine, Greg, was down on his luck and he hasn't been seeing much, and he'd be just happy to just shoot a deer, so I told him where to go tonight and he shot one. So we still gotta go look for that. This is blood all the way up here. Oh wow. And these leaves are spraying. Here's the arrow, we found it walking in, and it is covered with, it looks like good lung blood. Okay, so we're going to track her from here out. Where I shot her was about 25 yards over that way. So there's blood going right through here, and it's pretty good blood. She's going to be down. So, it's quite the track job, a lot further than what I thought. I got to see where I hit this thing. But funny, it got off that island in a spot where I should have seen it. We went blood trail right through an opening that I should have been able to see from the tree. We got into the woods here, and I got an interesting story for you. Right before I shot the deer, somebody's walking around in the woods back here yelling, "Danny boy. Danny, Danny, Danny boy." And I'm like, somebody see my truck in the parking lot? You know, and then I shoot the doe and it runs over here and somebody's yelling, "Danny, Danny." And I'm like, what the heck? So it got dark, I come out of the swamp and there's a light over here walking towards me going, "Danny, Danny." I walk out, I'm like, what? Light the guy up and it's not nobody I know. And the guy was looking for his dog named Danny. So he was walking around in here, and this is right where we found a deer. It ran right to where he was at. So I see it up here. I haven't looked at it yet, but I found it crashed right there. So come on, let's go take a look at it. Yeah, here it is. We got a tangle of briars, huh? Nice adult doe, but it had no fawn. Maybe the coyote's got it, I don't know. Yeah, adult doe. Yeah. Where the heck's the hole? There's an exit wound right here. I thought I hit it funny. That's got to be the entrance where it was. I literally hit it way back there, huh? Wow, that's not good. Got me another one. Funny stuff. I hunted here a year ago, and I look on the ground. Right in the tree, I see my light. And I thought, well, maybe it's the one I'm wearing. Nope, that's right here. It still works. It's been laying here since December of last year. The only other time I hunted this tree. Last time I hunted it, a buck got up over there, a buck got up over there, and a buck got up over there. All within 40 yards. Let's see what happens this time. I'm sitting on a point on an island. I'm right over the swamp grass and cattail. I had some action here last year in this heavy brush out here. Real hard to get to them, and they know it. So this is a kill position, but more importantly, it's an observation stand. I'm hoping I can get an eyeball on the big one. That he passes through, and I can get a direction to travel. If he happens to come up this way, well, great. But if he don't, if I can get an eyeball on him, I believe he's bedding right here. See what happens. I think I got him pretty clean. It's just a matter if he's bedding within sight. If he gets up with some daylight, he moves. Got some heavy trails coming in like this. Over there, over here, coming out of bedding brush right over there. Got bedding brush right there. I've seen bucks get up out of. I seen one get up right there last year, and they come right through here. And I can see a heavy trail go through there within range, and one coming from over there. I'm in a popple tree. I always set my camera arm up to my right side here, like this. And I got this bar sticking off the tip here that I use for a bowl holder. And I'm only up 3 sticks, but I used 4. And the last one I got my quiver hanging on. So I'd like to get a stick or 2 higher, but these branches here would have been in my way to shoot over here. And back there is just too thick to set up, and I wouldn't be able to see movement out here. Always trying to hang on that edge when possible, if I can do it without spooking. This setup was very close to where Mario saw the giant 10-pointer. And my real goal on this hunt was to set up in a location where I could see the swamp and see most of the bedding, and hopefully get a visual of them. Right before dark, that buck, I think it was him. It was a mature buck. I could see a good cage on it, but I was just getting glimpses. Got up about 25 yards from me in thick cover. And it started making its way towards me, but when it got up, it was almost closing time. And if it would have stepped out, I'd have shot it. But it was right on the buzzer, and I had it at about 10 yards. There's no way I was going to slip an arrow through that stuff. And it turned around and headed back out into the swamp and gave me a good direction of travel. And the travel direction coincided with the big rubs I was seeing on the point and the deer exiting another section of the bowl in between where Mari was sitting and where I had sat. So I know where the deer's coming out of the swamp, per se, based on his travel, but it's going to be late because he didn't leave that bed until closing time. So I got to wait for a day he's going to move early. But it was good intel. I did the job. I got eyeball on him. And you certainly don't want to let the big buck serial killer get an eyeball on you.